Okay, welcome to another episode of Around My House. Today we're going to tackle the washing machine. So we have frequently had to come in here. The washing machine is making horrible noises, and we get the OFB off balance report on the LED, and we have to rearrange the clothes, and sometimes we have to do it multiple times to get it to continue the cycle during the spin cycle. And so I'm going to try to fix it today, and what we're going to use is we're replacing what's called the suspension for the drum, and this is supposed to be relatively easy to do. There are plenty of videos out there about this, but I thought I would just share with you my experience. So let's get started. All right, so let's get started. In order to access these suspension components, we need to get behind the machine and remove some bolts. And then this lid, this top, will move forward and then lift up. And that'll give us access downward into the bowl. I'm going to take some extra precautions here. I don't want to scratch my floor, so I'm going to put a blanket under here. And then, of course, I need to remove the connections back here, the electricity as well as the supply lines. Make sure you turn the supply lines off. And I'm going to remove them from behind the machine and just leave them connected to the wall because I'm going to be pulling the machine out. All right, so that's my plan. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is put this drop cloth down here, this moving pad, tilt the machine up, and try to get the pad under the feet so that I can slide this out without risking scratching the floor. So I'm going to slide it out. And I'm going to turn off the supply lines. There's a valve here for both hot and cold. And unplug it. And I'm going to get a towel because I know that when I pull these supply lines off, it's going to drip. So I'm going to put a towel down. Hey, how can you be on when I unplugged it? That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. And I also have to remember which side's hot and cold. It's actually labeled on the back of the machine. I suspect these are cranked down on here. They are. I'm going to need to get a tool. So my handy dandy channel locks, just out of curiosity. Yeah, they're all cranked in. So I'm using the channel locks to take off the supply lines, the water supply. Just gotta break them free. And they should come off. There we go. There's the first one. This is a cold line. Yeah, of course it's dripping. And then let's get the hot line. I don't want to break the plastic protrusions back here, so I'm taking little short turns. All right, and last but not least, we have our drain hose. Pull out of there. And now I can safely move the machine a little further forward. There we go. All right, so obviously when the spin cycle engages and the machine's bouncing all over the place, you know you got a problem. But also, one of the things I learned from some information online is one of the things you can test is the rebound of the drum. So if you push it down sharply and let it go, it should cushion its way back up. Mine does not. It bounces all the way up to the top. So that's an indication, not the only indication, but an indication that your suspension has worn out or is expired. All right, so that's one of the reasons why we're here. This part, by the way, and I'll put the information in the description, I got this from a third-party part supplier, which I'll put in the description, and it's appliance parts, and it was like $93 plus tax and shipping. It was $188 at Maytag. So just okay. From the videos I've seen so far, it's pretty simple to get you to be able to lift this top section up so you can get access to the inside. And in this case, it looks like we've got 3 or 4 bolts we need to deal with. We need to deal with this one because this is attaching the top to the base. There's a mirrored one over here. And then we have to take this plate off because we're going to be tipping this up. All right, that should be all we have to do. And we're going to do that now. It is unplugged. And then this just comes out like that. And that's just keeping track of the hoses. There's I think there's a soap line and a drain line or something there. Put these aside. Take off these other 2. And this one over here. And in theory, you shouldn't have to remove any other screws. So, by the way, this was a 5/16 inch socket joint. So getting out of here, I bumped into it and you can see that it is slid forward, which is exactly what we want. So slide forward, lift up, and push back, and then we get it to open. All right? Oh, excellent. So now what we have to do is, some missing sock. We don't want this to flip over. You can see the hinges here. We don't want this to flip over, so I'm going to use something to secure this. Okay, so the first thing I did is I'm taping the lid down so that it doesn't fall as I tip this up. I've installed a rope here, put a loop here. I just found an opening up there. There's a hole right here that I can use. And what I want to do is I want this to go a little bit past vertical so that it holds under its own weight. It'll probably fall on me, but for now. And then I'm just going to put a couple of 1/2-inch knots in here to hold it in place. That should be fine. Let's make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, good. All right, so now we've got the lid open. So we've got the lid open. Now what we want to do is we want to be able to remove these 4 suspension rods and replace them with the new ones, right? So to get them out, again, I watched this on a YouTube video, is we should be able to just pull up like that, and then if you turn this plastic piece in the right direction, it'll come through. And we're going to turn around and just hook it back up here so that it doesn't fall away on us, okay? And you can see this device right here. The hook goes in this way and it turns either left or right to anchor it in place. Now, the good news is, as I said, is we've got a cutaway there at the bottom. So we should be able to push this rod out and then move it away through the cutaway to replace it with the new rod. My understanding is it takes a firm push to get this out. So we're going to give it a try. That's not that bad at all. Okay, that wasn't bad at all. So now what I've done is I've got myself stuck because I don't have the other rod. So let me get the other rod. And here we see the rod here, and it's a little different. There we go. Notice that this plastic sleeve here is, this diameter is smaller than the diameter of that hole down there. And so it should come through just as that one does, all right? So I'm just gonna put this down in here so that we have it. Great. And now I'm going to remove the old one which just pushes through. If I can. There we go. There's a little plastic piece in there that had to come out with it. That one's gone. I'm still holding up the side of the tub. I don't want it to stretch anything. I'm pulling the next one in. And for now, I'm just going to hook it on the edge. Okay, so now we've got it almost in position. We have to replace these little cups just as a precaution. You just need to push them through. They're like pinched in. There we go. And I'm putting the old parts over here. Here's a new cup. Just snaps in place. And then here's the new top. And you can see that you would bring the hook up, and in this case it forces us to turn it to the right in this case. So I'm going to grab the rod, go underneath, come up through, put the ball on. I don't have the best of grips here. There we go. Pull it up, put the rod in. Alright, someone showed another example of how to do this that I thought was pretty interesting. We're going to take an old rod. He says just put a bend in it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our new ball, which, by the way, I was doing, am I doing upside down? I think I'm doing upside down. This one's different. This one goes this way. Okay, sorry about that. So the trick here is what we're going to do is we're going to release this gently, get rid of our top. I've already cut my hand. And you go in with this hook, and you hook that hook, pull it up through. Now I've got all kinds of leverage. And actually I should probably do it this way. And get it to center there, and there we go. Now we've replaced one of them. All right, that one wasn't too bad. Okay, we successfully replaced that one. There was a learning experience, so I'll show you what I learned. Let's go do this other corner, because these back corners are actually easier. All right, so I'm going to get my spare piece ready, so I have it. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up on this bar, and hopefully you can see that this hook comes up. I'm going to clear the plastic from the hook, let the hook settle through that cup, and just let the bowl rest there for a second. I'm going to remove this cup because we're getting rid of it. And then what we want to do is we want to remove the suspension rod from its housing down there. Hopefully you can see this. There's a cutaway pushing through, and then I'm swinging the bar out away, and now we get the old one out of the way. We've got our new rod, and this is an old rod. And I saw this technique by another YouTuber where he took an old rod and bent it to use it as a hook. And you'll see how that works in just a second. We're going to go ahead and line this up if we can. I can't wear the flashlight and the camera at the same time. I'm going to slide this in. We're going to go into the cutaway on the side if we can. The depth perception is off, and then pull it up through. Okay, hopefully you see that. We've pulled it up through. Now we'll take, well actually before we can do anything, we're going to let that sit there for a second. We've got to get our new cup and cap, and our cup just pops in here. And our cap, you see how it's rounded down here, it needs to be able to swivel. So this is the top, and so you can see that the hook would come up like this and then turn and then lock into this position, okay? So to do that, we're going to use an old one. All right, so we're going to use this bent old rod to hook our new rod. Make sure we have our product, our part, our ball in the right position. You can see that the hook opening is to the inside, so I'm going to align this appropriately. Bring this up through, shove this on, make sure it goes all the way on, and then remove our tool. And there we go. That is locked in position. Okay, so we got 2 of 4 done. Let's work on the next ones. That's the trick. All right, this one here is going to be a little hard to get to because of this cutaway here, or this protrusion. So, but we still should be able to get it. So let me see if I can get my flashlight in there. And I'm going to reach in. I'm going to reach in, pull up, remove our plastic, gently let it down. Then, kind of sight unseen, I'm going to push the old rod through. There we go. Slide it out. Now this one's gone. Get rid of that. Get our new rod, our new cup, and our new ball. Get rid of the old cup. Put in the new cup. Don't think there's any particular direction that needs to go in. No, this is the new rod. Sorry. Okay, so we got our new rod, and we're gonna go and slip it back into that slot down there. I know it's hard to see. I'm gonna have to use my other hand here. Slip it down into that slot. Pull it through. Great. Use our little cheat tool. Hook onto it. I'm hooked. Get our ball ready. Our ball goes this way. And our hook opening is that direction, so I'm going to orient this in that direction. Pull this up. Put this in. And get rid of our tool. There we go. That's in there. One more to go. This one will be a little easier than the last one, hopefully. Let's get the flashlight set up so you can see. Same concept. I'm going to pull up on this and lose my flashlight and get rid of this. Let's this one out, and then let's slide out. And we'll take advantage of the light that's down there and just push this. We're going to pull that. There's a little plastic liner there that is being replaced with this new one. So we're going to push that out and then pull our old suspension rod out. All right. So now we'll take our last new part, which is right here. Let's remove this old cup. Put it over in the disposal pile. Put in the new cup. That's in there. Slide this into position. Like this. All right. Use our little handy dandy cheat tool. Now this hook is facing towards the outside corner, so we want this to be facing this way. Coming up with the cheat tool, come in and let it lock in place. Whew, and that should be it. Now, in theory, if you remember when we bounced it before, it popped back up and hit the roof. Notice how that settles so much quicker now. So that should help us get rid of the off-balance problems. All right, now all we got to do is put this back together. Okay, so that is the process of doing that. Now we just have to put it all back together. That's the easy part. When we remove this half hitch, it's actually 2 half hitches. Hold my lid here. I don't want that flailing. I happen to use a bowline knot here, so in theory, this should be easy to undo. There we go. that out. Line out. Great. Now we're going to bring the lid down gently. I'm going to move this a little bit straighter again so you can see. And then we want to put this lid back on. Line it up, pull it forward. You may see that it just dropped, and then shove it back. You can see that we've got it locked. So now we have to go and do the bolts in the back. So let's take care of that. All right, so we're back here again. We've got 3 screws to put back in. We're screwing the top. Let's see if I can align that better. I think that's aligned. Go in without stripping it. There we go. And then let's try this one. Oh, we can see we bent this. I've bent that back, so I want to push that back. I think that'll be all right. Should tighten it up. All right, 5/16. Before, I think I told you in the beginning, we do know where our hot and cold ports are. And let's get this one. And I'm going to crank that down to rebend that tab. All right, and then we just have this cover, which goes in like this. And I might need 2 hands here. Good. So just putting this last screw in on this cover. Tight, tight, tight. Great. So the rest is easy. You don't need the rest of this. We're going to untape it. We're going to hook up our drain line. We're going to hook up our supply lines back to the washing machine, shove it back in, and plug it in. I hope that this has solved our problem. I don't know for sure if it will, but I will post a follow-up after we do a load of laundry to see if we still have the problem. Let me put it this way. If we still have the problem, I probably won't post this video. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. I appreciate all comments, likes. If you like my videos, please subscribe. And thank you for watching another episode of Around My House.